May 26th at 8:02 p.m. Pacific time and May 27th in the early morning hours for those of you on Universal or UK time, we're going to have an elevating, passionate, revelatory, potentially emotionally freeing new moon in the communicative air sign of Gemini. I believe this is the new moon that is ushering us into the new era of Neptune and Aries, especially because just 48 hours before this new moon, we have Saturn joining Neptune in this inspired fire sign, moving us emotionally to just say yes to the current dream of our hearts. So in this video, I'm excited to share with you the themes of this new moon, the aspects that are going on during this lunation, and how you can make the most of the energies. In part 2, as always, I will be doing readings for all 12 signs, pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. But be sure you watch part 1 of this video because this is where I'm going to be sharing the most inspired insights that I'm getting around this new moon that I won't be repeating in the 12 sign readings. So I'm excited to dive into this very beautiful, sparkly Gemini new moon. But before I do, I want to say hello and welcome, a warm welcome to you if you have just found the channel. This is a like-minded community. If you want to be empowered through Western tropical astrology and you want to find your tribe, be sure and take a moment right now to tap the subscribe button, to also tap the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to you wonderful people who have subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't yet subscribed, please take a moment right now to tap the subscribe button. It does make a huge difference to the support of the channel. I'm Betsy. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. I am a full-time professional astrologer, so if you would like to do an astrology consultation with me, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll tell you more about my readings, and I have a free gift for you, a free instant download. Stay tuned till the end to find out how you can get that. Finally, I write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. If you'd like to receive those before they go out on social media, go to my website, sign up for free, and you will get my free instant download gift as well right away. Now, all new moons are the beginning of a brand new manifestational cycle. This is the time that we set intentions for what our heart wants most, for what we want to plan, what we want to co-create with the universe. And what you'd like to manifest, my friend, corresponds to the house in your natal astrology chart where this new moon is happening. So wherever you have 6 degrees of Gemini, this is the degree of this new moon, wherever you have 6 degrees of Gemini in your natal astrology chart, the themes of that house will likely correspond to what you're wanting to bring into reality. Which house this is for you, I will share in the 12 sign readings based on your rising sign. Now, this new moon is likely to come to full fruition 6 months from now. December 4th, to be exact, is when we're going to have the full moon in Gemini. But even before then, even just 2 weeks from now, when we have a full moon in Sagittarius, the opposite sign of Gemini, you may experience a mini culmination of the intentions that you're focused on during this new moon. This said, regardless of where this new moon is happening for you in your chart, the Gemini themes will likely be highlighted in your life. And they show us how we can best work with the energies, how we can make the most of this new moon. So Gemini is a mutable air sign. Mutable is changeable. The mutable signs help us to transition to a new season. In other words, they help us navigate change. And as an air sign, Gemini highlights our thinking, our mindset, our communication, written and verbal. It's the magician archetype, which is the degree to which we believe in ourselves and we believe in our power to co-create, to bring that Neptunian divine dream or goal down from the ethers into earthly form. Because Gemini season is a time of transition, we are moving from spring, getting closer to summer. Because of this, this is naturally a time that we are thinking about what we want going forward. We're doing planning, perhaps for summer. We're often in some sort of weighing our options or choices so that we can make a decision. And because Gemini rules our perceptions as well, this new moon is calling on us to align our perceptions if needed, to make a shift in how we're thinking so that we can align our view of ourselves and our lives with our truth, with the direction that our soul is guiding us in. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the winged messenger. And in Gemini energy, we have one foot in both worlds, the ethereal world and the earthly world. So we are very likely around this new moon time, especially if this is our intention, to receive what we call divine downloads, to get epiphanies, to get aha moments. And the aspects going on during the new moon absolutely validate this as well, which I'm going to speak about in a few moments. But this is a great new moon to get clarity by talking it out. In Gemini energy, we really benefit from what I call spewing, just talking it out, getting it out, the good, bad, and ugly. Because as we talk it out, as we share our feelings and our thoughts and all of that, this is often when we get those insights. Because again, Mercury, our higher self, our divine guides, we're being fed those insights as we are focused on whatever topic is most important to us right now. And alternatively, you might want to dump your thoughts on the page through a journaling process or writing to spirit, as I share the technique that I have used successfully in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. Other ways that you might be motivated during this new moon are learning something new, speaking, teaching, socializing, collaborating with like-minded friends, coworkers, or colleagues, doing freelance work, working on a website, meeting up with new soul friends. This new moon could highlight a relationship with a sibling, neighbor, aunt, uncle, cousin, a landlord, or anyone in your local area. What I love most about Gemini energy is that we can access the magic, the signs, the synchronicities, often more palpably in this energy, especially when we're being intentional. We're asking spirit, show me, bring me the signs, show me what is the best choice to make. Uplift my vibration, help me to change my perception if I'm in fear or other negative emotions. And the best way to work with a new moon in Gemini is staying open, being open-minded, connecting with source or your higher self or with others that you trust. Seeing the situation that you're in or the desire that you have from all sides, especially if other people are involved. That's a superpower of Gemini, being able to see all perspectives, even if you don't agree with the other person or people, but being able to understand at least where they're coming from and have compassion for you and for everyone. That can really help us to be in that higher vibration and being curious and willing to learn something new. Freedom, independence, individualism are strong motivators in Gemini energy. Even rebellion, if someone is putting you in a box or is trying to cramp your style in any way, you will very likely try to break out of that during this new moon or afterward. And let's not forget that Gemini is the archetype of the lovers, the twins, the siblings. So there is a strong desire and a stronger likelihood that you could meet somebody that feels like part of your soul family, whether it's a lover or a soulmate, soul sister, soul brother. So who will most feel this new moon in Gemini? It's happening at 6 degrees. So those of you who have planets or points between 2 and 10 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, you will feel this new moon most intensely, most personally. But remember, we all have 6 degrees of Gemini somewhere in our natal astrology chart. So if you don't have anything close to that or anything aspecting that in the other areas of your chart, which of course I can look into for you in an astrology consultation, if this new moon isn't activating any of the planets or points in your chart, you can still benefit by planting seeds of intention in the house in which it falls. So the aspects to this new moon are incredibly powerful. Why do I say this? First of all, there are 5 different planets that are speaking to Mercury during this full moon. Mercury is conjunct the sun and the moon. The new moon is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in its home sign of Gemini, which means that it's in Chariot. Why is that important? Because when Mercury is in its home sign and it's making a conjunction to the sun, in this case, the sun and the moon, it's considered protected rather than combust. In other words, it still has its full power to influence the sun and the moon and any other planets it's speaking to. And it is speaking to other planets as well. And this is why I'm feeling the power of this new moon almost like a portal. This is the first new moon to be activated by both Saturn and Neptune together in the Just Say Yes brand new beginnings sign of Aries. And the new moon is harmonizing, sextiling both Saturn and Neptune. This means opportunities. This means solutions. This is something tangible that we can co-create and bring into our reality based on our Neptunian dream, whatever your heart is most desiring right now, and Saturn's assistance in helping bring that into form. Now, both Saturn and Neptune being in Aries, this is our identity. This is how we see ourselves. This is a role. This is a status. It brings up the question, do I believe that I can step into this new sense of self, this new way of being, or a new way of seeing? And that takes us to the story that's in our head, the inner narrative. Is that supportive? A lot of us, I believe, during this new moon are going to upgrade that inner narrative. We're going to shift our perception, perhaps from a state of fear or feeling like, I don't know if I can have this, do this, succeed at this. This new moon is powerfully helping us to shift that perception to, if my heart is burning for this, of course I can bring this into reality. If I know this is what I'm here for, absolutely, this is mine. This is mine to claim. And I deserve this. I am worthy of this. And that's going to be a shift for some of us. And this is bringing up in this moment the quote from Anais Nin. I'm going to paraphrase it. And the day came when the pain of staying tight in a bud was greater than the risk it took to blossom. This new moon wants to help us to see with new eyes, see ourselves, see our lives, see our potential, and let go of what is perhaps a residual kind of leftover from a loss that we've experienced, from life not turning out the way we thought it would. How many of us on a spiritual path are living a life that was planned? I don't know if any of us are. What puts us on a spiritual path? Often it's the loss or the pain or the seeking for more. And often we're seeking because we're not happy. We're not in tune with our true self. We're not aligned with our path. So this new moon big picture is even more aligning us with our new path, but with a lot of ease and grace. Why do I say with a lot of ease and grace? Mercury is also making a sextile to Pluto. That is powerful, powerful truths and revelations about who we really are, about what we really came for, what we deserve, what we're worthy of. But also Mercury trining Pluto and the new moon trining Pluto, the new moon with ease, grace, and flow, harmonizing with Pluto, is saying it's time to let go of that old sense of self that doesn't feel worthy, that is still looking at the losses rather than the potential that we can create. It's time to let go of that aspect of ourselves or that story or that fear, because it's very natural after experiencing loss and having life play out differently than we thought it would. It's very natural to have fear come up when there's something new that we want to do. Of course, fear is going to come up. Mercury and the new moon trining Pluto is going to help us to move that fear and to connect with the truth of who we are. The new identity. You see, this is a new identity, new moon. And that's upleveling. That's a higher sense of who you are. Because Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth, but we can't have the rebirth. We can't receive the rebirth of the Pluto process until we see ourselves as rising from the ashes like the phoenix. Now, Pluto is retrograde, so likely what comes up for you during this new moon to shed, to transform, to let die is an old self that is very familiar to you. This isn't going to be new with Pluto retrograde. Or a situation, a relationship, something bubbles back up to release, let go of, transform, transmute the pain around, perhaps. But it's a Pluto trine, so there's ease with that. And this could show up as an opportunity to collaborate because it's Pluto in Aquarius, which is community oriented. Still, Aquarius, like Gemini, wants freedom and independence. But a new soul connection, feeling like you're finding your tribe or a new soul friend, that will be passionate. That's why I said passionate. A Pluto trine is being pulled forward by a vision rather than pushed by pain. A Pluto trine is feeling ignited by passion. Now, if you are in the process of making a choice, making a decision, and maybe it's a hard decision, or maybe you are in the middle of a transformation or in the middle of a dark night, or having trouble believing that you can succeed at whatever you want to do next. Any new dream that Saturn and Neptune and Aries are pulling us toward is going to have some fear woven into it because this is a new chapter, Saturn and Neptune and Aries. And I do have a separate video for you on that transit, a couple of videos actually that I will link to in the description box below. But there's an aspect that is quite empowering, just like the Pluto aspect to this new moon. And it is that the new moon is conjunct the dwarf planet Sedna. Who is Sedna? There's a legend about Sedna. Sedna's story is told in different ways, but I'm going to nutshell it for you. The power of this conjunction of the new moon to Sedna is that Sedna was a beautiful goddess, gorgeous long dark hair. She had many suitors. Her father wanted her to marry someone, but she was quite self-sufficient. She knew how to hunt and gather and get the food that she needed. She didn't need a man to take care of her. And yet her father was still successful at pushing her to choose a husband. So she finally did. She finally chose someone. But he turned out to betray her. He didn't go out and hunt for food like he promised he would. He actually mistreated her. She was very unhappy in that marriage. And so she let her family, her father know. And so one night, her family and her father show up to help her escape from this brutal husband. They come by boat. She gets in the boat. They start out into the ocean and a storm kicks up. There are wild waves and it's very scary. And in all of the storminess, Sedna falls out of the boat. She falls out of the boat, but she's able to hold on to the side and she's trying to make her way back in the boat. And the father makes a decision in that moment. He makes a decision that to save both himself and the rest of the family, there isn't room for Sedna. And he brutally chops off her fingers so she can't get back in the boat. But this is when the magical transformation happens. This is when Sedna transforms. What happens? Her fingers transform into sea creatures. Whales, dolphins, seals. She sprouts the tail, she becomes mermaid-like, and she is instantly gifted by the divine with a new identity of the goddess of the sea. And not just the goddess of the sea, the protector of the oceans and the protector of all sea life. So as traumatic as that was for her to be not only mistreated by her husband, but then brutally maimed by her father and kicking her out of the family, banishing her really to the ocean. Had that not all happened, she would not have known her true identity. She would not have woken up to the fact that she was meant to be the goddess of the sea and the protector of the oceanic environment. And how many of us on a spiritual path have gone through this, or potentially you are going through this now, being the quote unquote odd one, the black sheep of the family, or people in your family not understanding you. I can relate to that one. This new moon is saying, take heart, you are meant to transform into a new identity. And you will be supported, just like Sedna was supported by her own source, by the divine, by the oceans, by the whales. Considered by many to be the highest frequency living beings, the whales, the dolphins. I also pick up on during this new moon a new harmonic that is being introduced to us by the whales. And speaking of harmonics, there is yet one last aspect I want to tell you about, and that is Jupiter in Gemini, which is co-present with the new moon. They're far enough apart in degrees, but they are co-present, and the new moon will, as it moves on, after it's exact, it will make a conjunction with Jupiter, so that's important to know. But also, speaking of a new vibrational frequency, a portal, a new harmonic that many of us are being invited to rise up to and match. Jupiter in Gemini is, during this new moon, Jupiter is opposite the galactic center. It is having a conversation with the galactic center that is increasing the frequency of the planet. And so, of course, any and all of us on a spiritual path who have that intention to ascend, to experience ongoing or multiple spiritual awakenings in our lifetime, which many of us have and will continue to do, that up-leveling ascension is part of this new moon frequency as well. So this is why I say that this new moon is ushering us into the new era, the new timeline. This to me feels like a bridge. It feels like a stepping stone. It feels like a very important lunation activation, perhaps infusing us with the new light codes of this higher vibrational frequency. So spend some time in nature around this new moon time, my friend. Get outside as much as you possibly can. Talk to the divine and ask for that breakthrough. Ask for that upgrade, that ascension activation, if that is what your soul desires. Okay, my friend, I am going to run through the 12 signs now and pull an oracle card for each of the 12 signs as well. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of your life corresponding to the area of your natal chart in which this new moon is happening. You can also listen to your sun sign and your moon signs for further themes and intuitive messages. And we're going to start with Gemini because beautiful Gemini, this is your new moon, and happy, happy birthday to all of my Gemini friends. I am also very excited about this new moon, being that it is just a few days away from my birthday, and my Gemini grandson is turning 3 on the day of the new moon, too. So this is going to be a special one. And by the way, if you're having a birthday within a few days of this new moon, it portends a year of new beginnings for you, a year of fresh starts and a brand new chapter. So Gemini, regardless of when your birthday is, if you have planets or points, like I said, around the 6-degree mark, a few degrees in either direction, you're going to feel this new moon more intensely, more personally. But everyone, every Gemini person is going to experience this new moon in your first house of identity. So everything I said in part 1 of this video, and I strongly encourage you to go back and watch that if you haven't already, because there's so many insights that I received when I was preparing for this video from the divine, and also, about the aspects and all of that I don't want you to miss. A new identity, a new role, perhaps changing your appearance in some way. And this is also your vitality, your energy levels. Now, Gemini, it also just occurred to me that Uranus is also entering your sign July 7th. So, of course, this is going to be quite a time of new beginnings for Geminis. This new moon is really encouraging us to believe in ourselves, to find evidence for our worthiness for whatever we most want. Leave me a comment, Gemini. Let me know where you are wanting to bring something new in your life. In other words, is there a new role? Is there a new status? I mean, this could be the role of being partnered if you're not partnered. This could be a role of starting your own business. It could be that you want to change your job. It could be that you want to move to a new home. Those words, I am, that's really the 2 words that tell us we're speaking of an identity. Well, we can say, I am living in Hawaii. I am Spirit of Pure Love. I am a dancer. I am the director of such and such. There are a lot of ways to describe an identity, right? So this really depends. It's very personal to you. Very, very personal place to have a new moon. But it's important because this is your new moon for 2025. And because, as I spoke about in part 1 of this video, because Saturn and Neptune are going to be together for the first time, just 48 hours after Saturn enters Aries is when we have this new moon. Because of this, it adds that much more power. And the trine to Pluto and all the aspects to Mercury. I mean, there are just aspect after aspect that are harmonious, not to mention Jupiter and the galactic center. I mean, that's all in part 1 of this video, but this is a very, very powerful new moon. And the aspects are all supportive. That's what's amazing. It's like I said, it's ushering us. It's like, get on board the train. The train is heading out. We are walking across the bridge through a portal. That's what it feels like to me. Let me know if you feel that too. I just feel it so strongly. So Gemini, what do you want to create? Co-create. What do you want to step into? What is your new I am? That's the first house new moon. So let me know in the comments below. And I am now going to pull a card for you. And one just flipped over. So this is your card. And the card is, you are enough. You do not have to give more. You are enough. What a beautiful, beautiful card. In this card, she is sitting. It looks like a fire to me, or it's the flame of light. And she is basically looking in, seeing her reflection, a reflection of the light. And look at all the birds. To me, the birds are very Gemini energy because they're air energy. And this looks to me like a rainbow, not a rainbow, a solar eclipse kind of vibe. You are enough, Gemini. There's nothing more that you have to do. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to have been a certain way. You don't even have to have done a certain thing in this lifetime or last lifetime. You are enough, and it's time to claim that whatever your heart wants is your birthright. Happy birthday and happy Gemini new moon. Taurus, hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are going to experience this Gemini new moon in your second house of material security. The second house represents our earned income, that represents our self-love, aligning our life with our values, our self-worth, our possessions, feeling as though we deserve what it is that our hearts want. It really is the house of self-reliance. And so a new moon here is saying, do you want to change your income? Are you happy with your possessions? Do you feel secure in this earthly reality? Do you feel deserving of what it is that your heart wants? Do you feel filled up with self-love? Or is there more that you can do to shift the story of who you are, what you deserve, or shift, when I talk about story, I mean the things that we tell ourselves about what it is that we want. Are we making excuses when we say, I really want this, but I can't have it? Are we, giving reasons that we can't have what we want? That's just one example. There are a lot of ways that we can dim our own light, or that we can not give ourselves the credit for who we are, and know that the truth of who we are is someone who absolutely can co-create what our hearts desire. And of course, there are, Saturn and Neptune and Aries, there are going to be some limitations. There are going to be some hoops we have to jump through. There are going to be some obstacles, like every hero's journey. Aries energy is a hero's journey. And I go into all of that at length in both my Saturn and Aries video. Actually, I think I have 3 videos: Saturn and Aries, Neptune and Aries, and Saturn and Neptune and Aries. So I'll link to all of those in the description box below. But Taurus, a new moon in your second house is saying that this is a new level of self-reliance. We're up-leveling with this new moon, and you're no stranger to up-leveling. You have a superpower at manifesting. You're really, really good at bringing what you desire into form. But I'm getting a real vibe as I talk about it of self-love for you, inner child connection for you. And because this new moon is making so many beautiful aspects to Mercury and other, Pluto and Jupiter is opposite the galactic center. There's so much here. I feel like you guys are going to be, I get this image of you bursting out of water into reality, when you're underwater and you can see the sun shining through the water, and you like burst up and then you're in the light. So I feel that some of you are going to have some sort of revelation or awakening of your value. So let me pull a card for you now, Taurus. Taurus, your card is, you are wanted. There is a home waiting within. Wow. This idea of feeling valued and loved and deserving, this is really speaking to that. You are wanted, isn't it? It really is. So I encourage you, first of all, look in the image. I love this image. There she is. I mean, there's so much color in this card, so much creativity in all the colors. But also, this home is filled with light. And this is saying tap into the home within you. Create a home for your inner child. In other words, create a sanctuary within your heart for your inner child, for the part of you that may not believe that she or he is wanted. And that's going to really allow your garden, your inner garden, to bloom and grow, and to have your manifestations be that much more fruitful. Beautiful Taurus. If anything I shared resonates and you want to share, I would love to hear it. Leave me a comment. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you are going to experience the Gemini new moon, which makes a sextile to your energy. And sextiles are harmony, flow, opportunities. Sextiles are really beautiful energy for bringing something into tangible form. So this is really supportive for you. You're going to experience this new moon in your third house it's the Gemini house, mindset, verbal and written communication, local networks, website work, freelance work, where you hang out with people, any coffee dates you have, where you go work out or do yoga or any of the things that you do. It's your daily local schmoozing and networking with other people. Also, relationships with aunts, uncles, cousins, and siblings could be highlighted, short trips, devices, vehicles. So what is this new moon saying? It's saying that it's important for you to align your thinking, it's the house of thinking and mindset, with what you desire. You know, on a very mundane level, a new moon in the third house could just be like, I'm going to work on my website, or I'm going to create a new website, or I'm going to start my own business, or I'm going to start doing freelance work, or I'm going to start working out at this gym or checking out this yoga studio. I'm going to have that conversation that I've been putting off with my landlord. I'm going to try to heal my relationship with my sibling. Like, it can be any of those things that I just mentioned, but on a deeper level, it's about us aligning the thoughts in our head, the story that we tell ourselves, our inner narrative, with what our hearts want most. And this is very empowering for you, Aries, with the sextile. So don't be surprised if you have a lot of communication going on, a lot of emails, a lot of conversations happening during this new moon, happening in your third house. And I would absolutely book dates with people, romantic or platonic, like hanging out with people that are like-minded soul friends. I would absolutely do that during this moon. Take full advantage of it. If there's something you want to write, if you want to start a blog, if you wanted to teach a course, anything that you want to put together that you're going to share with other people, that is very, very supported during this new moon as well. So Aries. And Aries, it's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just remembered. So also because of Saturn and Neptune, which I speak about at length in part 1 of this video, because they are coming together for the very first time, not exact yet. The exact won't be until February 20th of 2026, but because they are coming together and this is the first new moon, the first lunation, new or full moon that's activating Saturn, Neptune, and Aries. You're really going to feel this new moon. Wow. Okay. Is there something that you want to start? Is there something that feels, for some of you, this is a new chapter. For some of you, this is a brand new lease on life. You could feel very elevated. I mean, just channeling the energy of this new moon, I had like a major epiphany and now it is true that the sun and Uranus are conjunct right now as I'm doing this video. So there's that. So that could be part of it, I have to say. But also when I channel the energy of a moon, I often feel, I often sort of experience it during that period. And I really got it was just this big emotional wave washing over me, having me release some pain and grief over a past loss, and having me and reminding me of my true identity, reminding me of why I'm here, of my purpose. It was very powerful. It was very profound. So I think you might feel this energy just as profoundly, Aries. Let me pull a card for you. Aries, your card is Run Wild. Ooh, I love this card. Run Wild. Let your inner wild child run forth. Wow, Aries, there you are having an adventure. That's you. You're having an adventure. Oh my God, how cool is this? I can't fully make out, but I think this might be a castle. And this person is walking through water, this sort of Monet kind of very beautiful pond looking gardeny water. It's time to let your inner wild child run forth. Aries, I would love to know, what's this card bringing up for you? Or what is the location in which this moon is happening for you in your third house? What's that bringing up for you? If you want to share that or what your heart is intending for this new moon, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Pisces, hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you are going to experience the Gemini new moon in your 4th house of home, family, and childhood conditioning, inner child healing. This is a gorgeous new moon for you to tune into. Do I feel a sense of belonging where I am? Do I want to move? Do I want to change my house in some way? Do I want to change who I live with? This is such a I can't say enough what a gorgeous new moon this is. And you, Pisces, are probably going to feel quite motivated during this new moon, because if it is coming close to any of your planets or points, which I do speak about in part 1 of this video, you're going to feel the square energy of this, and squares motivate us by feeling the tension or the pressure. They motivate us into action. So you will be taking motivated action, especially around this new moon time, especially if you are, one of the ones that if any of your Pisces energy is close to that 6-degree point where the new moon is happening. Pisces, is there something that you want to change up in your home and family life? This could be as simple as clearing clutter from your home. Some of you will want to move. If you do and you want to share, I would love to hear. Some of you are going to have a healing moment. I feel that this new moon is so powerful. I did go on about all of this in the first part of this video. The story about Sedna that I shared, the myth of Sedna. Pisces, I feel like you could really relate to that myth because you have merman energy. And Sedna, she, in that myth, the story, I'm not going to repeat the story, but she is the most empowered figure. She gets kicked out of her family. She gets hurt by her father, but she rises up and she becomes the goddess of the sea. Pisces, this is so you. If there's anything that you've been holding self back from because you don't quite feel, because of self-doubt, because of fear, because you don't quite feel that you have what it takes to bring it into form, this new moon may really shift that for you. And if you're feeling that way, I highly encourage you. Number one, get my guided meditation. I have several meditations on my YouTube channel that you can watch anytime. There is a playlist in the description box with the list of those meditations and their links, but also you can get one for free from my website. When you go to my website, sign up for free to my weekly inspirational astrology updates. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I feel that some of you are ready to tap into a new identity. You're ready to tap into something that may come to you because you have such an imagination, Pisces, and you're so good at tapping into the deeper realms, which often happens during meditation. I feel that you are very likely to with the tension or pressure you might feel from the square, wanting to do a deeper dive that then awakens you, a new awakening, a new burst of life, a new sense of, oh yes, an aha moment, of feeling of, something. It can be very symbolic, right? Something that comes to you through a meditation that's symbolic, that is a clue. You're good at deciphering those clues, Pisces, because of that metaphoric language that is wired into you. So let me pull a card for you and we'll see what the cards have to say. For you, beautiful Pisces, Gemini new moon. Your card is set boundaries. Claim your power and know your value today. Well, this is pretty self-explanatory. You are going through this portal. You see the portal, you see the eclipse. You are going through in all the clouds. So this is like very much in the high elevations of Neptune, the clouds, these pillars, and then walking into this very oceanic looking energy, which is you, Pisces. And there's two people, and you are a sign of duality, just like Gemini is. The two sides of you. Set boundaries. Some of you, this pertains to a specific relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. Others of you, it pertains to any relationship or anything in your life. It could be a boundary within yourself that is keeping you. It could be a habit, could be a way of overgiving, a way of over-sacrificing that is keeping you from having the time, energy, or belief in yourself to say yes to your heart. You're going through the portal, Pisces. If any of what I shared resonates and you want to share with me or with all of us in the comments below, I would love to hear. Aquarius, Aquarius. Beautiful Aquarius, you are going to experience the Gemini new moon in your 5th house. I absolutely love a new moon in the 5th house. The 5th house is saying it's time to enjoy your life. It's time to have fun. It's time to laugh more. It is time to work on that creative project, or that, it's the house of inner child delight. What is lighting you up? Are you feeling that creative muse? Some of you may want to have a child, or some of you may be very focused on your children at this time, or if you work with children, this is a great new moon for getting pregnant, I have to say, or not getting pregnant if you want to take precautions and not go there. A great new moon for true love and romance as well. You know, new moons, we plant seeds, we intend what our hearts most want. And this is a house of freedom and adventure. This house is the house of saying yes to your heart. This house is connected to Leo energy, which is ruled by the heart. So Aquarius, you're getting a trine, which is ease and flow and the wind at your back for this. There's nothing to not like. Two double negatives there, or two negatives. There's everything to like. There's everything to like and love about this new moon, Aquarius. There really is. This is a new moon to really take advantage of harnessing this energy. It's a great manifesting new moon. Really, really good for, you know, the aspects. I'm tempted to bring up some of the aspects, but I'm not going to, because I do that all in part one of this video. Ease, flow, and grace are yours during this new moon for anything creative, anything having to do with love and romance, anything having to do with children, and most important, your own inner child, giving yourself the opportunity to have fun, to flow with the joy, to go out and have dates with people, whether they're romantic or with friends or whatever, to just really enjoy yourself, Aquarius. And if you've been wanting to write a book, or you've been wanting to craft something, you know, it can be anything. If you've been wanting to grow a garden, anything that you have been wanting to dig your hands into, or you know, if it's singing, whatever it is for you, this is a beautiful new moon to begin that. Now, Aquarius, I'm going to pull a card for you. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Freedom and adventure too. It's a just say yes house. I mean, it really is. Your card is, oh, this card is so beautiful. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Become aware. Look at the light in this card. Look at the North Star. Look at this. It's a leopard or a jaguar. It's a cat, a fierce cat that is in tune with the body. There's such elegance. There's such elegance here and such magic. There's so much magic in all the sparkling stars. And I see a portal of energy here with this very bright orange right here. And this, to me, this card is saying, do something that connects you to your body. Go take a hike. Know that you are the king or queen of your life, that you can metaphorically sit on a rock and survey your life. Maybe it's time for you, some of you, to survey your life and see what kind of how far you've come and what you want next. That could be part of this too. But most of all, put your desires out into the magical ethers. Let the stars, let the divine help you to manifest, and listen to the wisdom of your body, because your body will always tell you the truth. Become aware. There's an awareness for some of you that's going to help you to usher in your next desire and bring it into reality. Beautiful Aquarius, if what I shared resonates with you, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are going to experience the new moon in Gemini. This is a sparkly, magical new moon. It's happening in your house of daily work, the work environment, your interactions with coworkers, your health and wellness on all levels, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, your routines, your lifestyle. This also includes health routines, you know, anything you do to move your body and what you eat and all of that. So Capricorn, a new moon here, and this beautiful new moon at that, which is so elevated and elevating. This really is an elevating new moon. Anything that you want to bring into fruition, whether it's a new job or a different work environment, or maybe I'm getting a vision of someone wanting to remodel their home office. If that's true for you, leave me a comment. I'd love to know. Also, your health and your wellness, your body. Your body is definitely... I mean, our bodies are always important, but when you have a new moon in the 6th house, it often involves our physicality. Are you feeling energized? Is there something that you want to change in what you're eating, or doing a cleanse. This would be a great time to do some sort of a cleanse or anything. If there's any habit, like anything that you've been, taking into your body that you really have been saying, I need to stop doing this, or I need to do less of this, or I want to change this. This is a time that you're going to have extra added motivation to do that, to take advantage of it, especially with the trine to Pluto. That really helps. And then Mercury trining Pluto, and then all the other aspects I talked about. There are many, but they're all positive. They're all harmonious. And my question for you, Capricorn, is what in all of these areas that I just spoke about, including your lifestyle, what are you ready to up level your vibration around, your sense of deserving? Because that's part of this new moon too. Your sense of I deserve this and I can co-create this. I believe in myself. Capricorn, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Capricorn, your card is let go of the past. It is time to envision a new story. That is this new moon so much. I mean, Gemini is our narrative. It is our story. It is our thoughts, our mindset. What a beautiful card. I'll let you look even closer. What do you see in this card? She's walking in this meadow of flowers. And there's definitely an opening here. There is a tower. And one message for someone could be that if you want to avoid any sort of tower moment, as we call them, changing your mindset, because sometimes we need some sort of a wake-up call because we are stagnant in some way. If you've been asking the same questions over and over, for example, but not getting answers, maybe interwoven in that question is a limiting belief or an untruth about you or some sort of judgment about you. Maybe that's been keeping you stuck. I find, like I did last night, and then I had this huge, incredible divine download. It was like super intense, very Pluto. Pluto can be intense, but it was beautifully intense. I asked, show me, I can't see this. I cannot see why this isn't manifesting for me, the particular thing I was asking about. And that's when I was led to just the right video and just the right words were spoken that opened me up and made me realize. First, I had a really good cry after I got all that new information, which obviously needed to happen. And then I was able to see again, rise up and see the truth of who I was that I wasn't acknowledging. And we need that new identity to create something new if we haven't been able to manifest it up until now, right, Capricorn? So if anything I shared resonates for you, I would love to hear. And if you want to claim that you have let go of your past and you want to claim your new identity or your new story, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. You are going to experience this new moon intensely. Why do I say this? Because it is making an opposition to you. Gemini is your opposing sign, and that doesn't have to be difficult. In fact, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous new moon. What it means is that the new moon is actually happening in your 7th house of committed relationships and partnerships, business or personal, anyone for whom you have, with whom you have an unspoken commitment, or you have their back and they have your back, anyone that you would put in your realm of close people, close connections, supporters. Sometimes in the 7th house is someone like a coach or an astrologer like myself. That can be there too. But how does an opposition usually play out? It plays out in the sense that there's someone across from you and you're having a conversation, you're working through something, you're getting advice. It's a two-way street, right? That's an opposition. It's happening through a relationship and it's happening in your 7th house of relationships. So what does this mean? It's a new moon. You are birthing something new, or you're experiencing a rebirth, the Pluto energy that I speak about in part 1 of this video. You're up leveling your vibration, some of you. You're up leveling your sense of what you can have, what you deserve, your sense of worthiness. You're up leveling, some of you, your story about who you are within relationships. Some of you may be realizing that a relationship isn't working for you anymore. If that's the truth, it's probably been going on that revelation, that feeling has been going on for some time because Pluto is retrograde. So we're going back over the same degrees where Pluto has been, which is why it's not often something new when that's happening. Or you could be, working on a dynamic, a relationship dynamic, working through a relationship dynamic with a new person. Or you could be creating a vision for a relationship that you want. Or if you're not interested in any sort of new close relationship and creating a vision for that, it could be a vision for your relationship with the divine, your relationship with you. Any of those things could be part of the scenario for you, beautiful Sag. Let me pull a card and see what the cards have to say for you. What does your heart want in the realm of relationship? That's what's important, because you're in charge, you're the co-creator, and you are the one planting the seeds for this very powerful, potent, exciting, magical new moon. Conjunct the galactic center, which is in your sign. Or I'm sorry, opposing the galactic center, which is in your sign, Sagittarius. So that adds that much more power for you to your manifestation. Okay, Sag. Your card is practice breath work today. Breathe in. Look at this beautiful scene. It is magical in and of itself. I see a lot of green. That takes me to the heart chakra. I see a lot of fish here. I feel like this card is saying, give yourself a timeout to just be if you need that. Give yourself a time to just swim in the waters of your own energy. Maybe go on a hike in nature. Enjoy the magic, though, that Gemini energy brings. Sag, you know the magic too. It's across the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius that there is this extra magic, right? You're ruled by Jupiter. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. There are signs and synchronicities we can receive and divine downloads through that mercurial energy. But you're no stranger, just in your own energy, to the magic, Sag. So it's a magical axis for you that you're experiencing this on both ends of the axis, really. And the stars, the glistening, the sparkle is saying, you can have anything you want, Sag. You can have anything you want. Intend it. Let your vibration rise to the level of what you desire. Take some time to breathe. Remember your breath. When we breathe in, we often get inspired. And you deserve the inspiration that is going to usher you into your new reality, beautiful Sag. If you want to claim anything that I shared or share anything else, leave me a comment. I would love to hear. Scorpio, hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you're going to experience your Gemini new moon in the 8th house of power, control, emotional attachments, the house of emotional and sexual intimacy, the house of loans, taxes, debts, and our retirement funds, our real estate, any assets that we acquire or that we build over time that support us in a long-term kind of planning way. It's really the house of financial planning. So the 8th house is the house of power. And during this beautiful new moon, we get a trine to Pluto, and Pluto does rule the 8th house. It's one of your co-rulers. So I think this is going to be a very empowering new moon for you on that level as well. What do you desire? This could be a desire around relationship or around finances long-term, especially. Some of you may want to pay off a debt. Some of you may want to, deal with a tax issue if that's an issue for some of you. You may want to build your wealth. I mean, this is really the house of wealth, or buy or sell a home. Do some sort of investment that is attractive to you. Transform as well could be part of it, because this is the house of death and rebirth and transformation. And this new moon, as I speak about in part 1 of this video, is very much about up-leveling our vibration and stepping into a new identity, a new sense of confidence and courage and empowerment for whatever our heart most wants. So in this way, Scorpio, it really is a beautiful lunation that is ushering us into the new era of Neptune in Aries, with Saturn having just landed here 48 hours before this new moon. It really has that feeling of a brand new beginning, but not just a new beginning, a new chapter, a new era, a new lease on life for some of you. What do you want to bring into reality? Some of you could want to deepen your intimacy with another person who's already in your life, or you may be really ready to find a partner with whom you can live, share assets, share resources in some way, time, money, energy. That's the 8th house. Or you could be deciding, because it is a new moon, and that's any new beginning. A new beginning can be, I'm deciding to end this relationship. I'm deciding to divide my assets. I'm deciding to separate from someone. And I know that's obviously a lot harder. That involves pain and emotional pain. So I really feel for you if you're going through that as well. Let me pull a card for you, Scorpio. There's so many different ways that this can play out, but what's important to remember is that this is your choice and your decision about what you want to co-create. You are the one in control. This is the house of power and control, and you're in control as far as what you want to bring into reality. So let us see. Scorpio, your card is... You deserve to be seen. Let yourself be known. Oh my goodness, what a sweet, sweet card. Check out the image. There's a rainbow. There's this sweet deer. It looks like a deer. There is this lovely bird, and the deer and the bird are talking to each other. This is very much the air energy of Gemini. And the spring is happening. Spring is coming out in your life. Look at this with the rainbow and everything. I really get an inner child feeling to this card, a feeling of let yourself be playful, Scorpio. For some of you, this is a message around a relationship that you deserve to be seen. Are you seeing yourself? Others can't see us if we don't see ourselves. Are you validating yourself? Are you witnessing your own feelings? Are you letting yourself acknowledge the emotions that you're having? So often we want other people to read our minds. We want other people to see in us what we're not even acknowledging in ourselves. But and I know that this is what I'm saying is often what we don't want to hear. I know that. Believe me, I know that. I've been there. But having experienced that feeling of not being seen, and then having given that to myself, and I do have a separate video for you on inner child healing that is also linked in my description box below. But having gone through that process, which is, it's a journey for sure, and it's not like my self-love journey is over by any means, but having very consciously gone through that process for many years now, I now fully can see why I wasn't being seen by those that I wanted to be seen by, because I wasn't fully conscious of seeing myself. However, this all said, sometimes even when we have, moved on to that place of seeing ourselves, there are still some people that can't see us. We know that, right? And that may be part of your journey, like realizing who has the capacity to see me and who doesn't, and who's just on their way there but isn't there yet. That could be part of your journey as well. You deserve to be seen, beautiful Scorpio. If you resonate with anything I've shared, or you want to claim your birthright of being seen, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, you are going to experience the new moon in Gemini in your 9th house of expansion, Libra. Expansion, new adventures, higher learning. This is the house of long distance travel, new scenery, new horizons, publishing, teaching, opening up to, this really is where you can open up to a new way of seeing yourself, a new way of thinking, a new metaphorical vista in your life. This house, in a lot of ways, to me, represents the energy of this new moon. So what a beautiful place to have it. Watch the first part of this video, Libra, if you are ready to, especially if you are ready to see your life or yourself with new eyes. because I talk about all the different aspects and how this new moon is supporting us with that. And you're getting a trine with this new moon to your energy, which is wind, which is wind at your back. It is wind in your sails, ease and flow and grace. Trines are just lovely. They are often, and this is a trine to your Libra energy. How it interacts with other planets in your chart, that's a different story depending on the signs that they're in, right? And whether they are close to the degrees that this new moon is, it gets more complex. That's why I do astrology readings for people. But Libra, if you have any planets or points near the 6 degrees of the new moon in your sign, in your Libra sign, you will get a trine to that energy. And it's in your 9th house. So are you planning a trip? Are you saying yes to taking a course? Are you graduating from a course? Are you, this could be very mainstream kind of learning program, such as a master's or a PhD or a bachelor's degree, or it could be a certification program or taking an extracurricular kind of course. Your spiritual beliefs might be changing. You might just be ready this is a new era that we're stepping into with Neptune and Aries and then Saturn moving here just before this new moon. It's a lot of us are going to have some sort of new project. And Libra, as I speak about in my Saturn and Neptune videos on Aries energy, you're getting a sextile to your energy from the Aries, the Saturn and Neptune transits. So it's very, very supportive of you. So I'm not going to repeat what I said in those videos, but go back and watch those if you are curious about whether you're one of the ones that's going to be most affected as these transits are just beginning here at the end of May. Libra, let us pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. Libra, your 9th house expansion, publishing too, teaching also. Your card is look back on your childhood, a time to remember. Wow, 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 wow. Libra, there is something potent that you're going to receive. This is a revelatory new moon. This is a new moon that we are so many Mercury aspects going on to different planets during this new moon. What does that mean? Divine downloads. That means sudden realizations, or they don't have to be sudden, but realizations, aha moments. This card, I believe, saying look back on your childhood, wants to awaken you to something, a new perspective perhaps that you haven't seen before, or maybe an opportunity to see that your inner child, there's information that your inner child never received, words, love, affection that you could give your inner child that would change the way you perceive your current reality or ability to co-create a new reality. In other words, empowering your inner child, which often only happens when we go back and we look at our childhood, or maybe you go back to your childhood and you're like, I loved doing X, Y, or Z. Now I know what I want to do. I've been loving that since I was a child. That could happen too. Libra, you're an artist. Most of you are artist designers in some way. You're very, very creative. You love beauty, right? Am I right? Am I right or am I right? I know that's not all of you. I know there's some Libras that are like, I'm not artistic at all, but a lot of Libras are. At the very least, working with color, arranging flowers, and those are arts too. But what did you love to do as a child? That could be part of this as well, bringing that back into your life. And if you're retired, it could be bringing it back in just for joy. It doesn't have to be a career. Libra, if anything I'm sharing resonates for you and you want to share with me or with the rest of us, leave me a comment. I would love to hear. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, you are going to be experiencing this new moon in your 10th house of career, legacy, life purpose expressed, retirement, and semi-retirement. This is the house of, as Mary Oliver puts it so beautifully, what would you like to do with your one wild and precious life? So how you want to spend your time. This is a very powerful place to have a new moon, and it's squaring your energy, which means that there is a decision or a choice point or a crossroads or something that could be weighing on you, or something that could be causing a bit of tension. Sometimes squares are just exactly what we need to get going, to get motivated. They put us into action. A square does not have to be something difficult. I often notice in my own chart when I'm getting a square from something that's how I power through a project. That's how I get something done. So, but because it's this angle of your chart, the 10th house is an angle of our chart, especially if you have your MC, which is your midheaven, your career point, or anything else around, any other planets or points around that are around the 6-degree point of this new moon, it will be activated that much more. So I already asked you the question, Virgo, what do you want to do with your one wild and precious life? I feel a theme of self-care here because it's not always our career. I think some of you are gathering the courage or the energy to make a career shift. And sometimes, if we can't make a career change right away, or we don't feel like we can, then doing something on the side, or just bringing some more zest back into your life, doing something that you used to do that brought you joy that you stopped doing, that, just freeing yourself up, changing your routine, changing something up in some way to shift the energy. Okay, Virgo, let me pull a card for you. But remember, this is a very harmonious new moon, very harmonious. So you could get a promotion. You could be ready to start your own business. You could be ready to step into a new career. You could get a career opportunity. The square is that it may be hard to decide at first, or it may be hard to motivate yourself at first, but look into your fears if that's the case. Be really honest with yourself about what you feel is holding you back, because this new moon is helping us shift our perceptions. And Virgo, you can have perceptions of yourself that aren't, of course, we all can. We can all have perceptions of ourselves that aren't accurate. We can all have perceptions of ourselves that are outdated. Judgment, self-judgment. You tend to be very hard on yourself, very, very high standards, sometimes unattainable. And I know that with my North Node in Virgo in my 4th house, which then stems from my 4th house to my 10th house, there are times when I'm given opportunities that I have to step back at first and gather the confidence. And that's okay. That's okay. It comes from the Virgo energy wanting to do it perfectly. It comes from not wanting to fail. And that's very human, and that's okay. But if we know that about ourselves, right? If we know that we can sometimes not jump on something because of fear of not being good enough, if we know that, we can work with that. Okay, Virgo, let's pull a card for you now. Virgo, your card is you are worthy. How interesting, based on what I just said. You are worth it all, my love. You are worth it all, my love, it says. Wow. What a sweet card. What a sweet, sweet card. I encourage you, if you haven't had a conversation with your inner child recently, to go into meditation. I have some meditations on my YouTube channel. I have one you can download from my website for free. Go into meditation, meet up with your inner child. Also in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, I have a meditation, an inner child meditation for you to go into the sacred garden of your inner child and have a conversation with him or her, letting your inner child know that you are worthy and you are worth everything that you desire. You wouldn't have that desire in your heart if you weren't worthy of it. Any stories of unworthiness are not who you are. They don't come from you. They're all based on past conditioning or past lives or something else that isn't who you are in this moment. Let it all fall off of you, beautiful Virgo. Let it all fall off of you. It's not the truth of who you are. You are divine. You are divine. Beautiful Virgo, if anything I shared resonates and you would like to share, leave me a comment. I would love to hear. Leo. Hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, you are going to experience your new moon in Gemini in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains, supporters, allies, friendships. This is the house of the world. This is the house of the world is your oyster. This is the house of asking, basically asking you, what does your heart desire? We can tap into new communities here. We can find our tribe here online or promote a business. This is the house of branding. This is your online presence. If you have an online presence, this is supporters, audiences, followers, all of that. So Leo, with Gemini energy in your 11th house, you make friends easily. And yes, friends could be changing over. That's part of the spiritual path, right? We outgrow, so to speak, us, or our friends could outgrow us. We outgrow our friends, is what I meant to say. Sometimes, not always, but that can be part of it. And that can be really hard. But this is a beautiful, beautiful new moon saying, do you want to bring new supporters into your life? Do you want to start some sort of platform? Do you want to start a YouTube channel? Or is there another dream? Is there something you're promoting? This is a new moon to really begin to manifest that, plant the seeds of intention, and, same with long-term financial goals. Really, really beautiful. And it will be different for all of you, of course. Some of you may just want to find your tribe, may just really want to find an online community. Others of you want to find that in your local area. You could also be open to online dating if you want to meet a partner or get back into dating and want to do that online, because that's the 11th house. So Leo, let me pull a card for you now and let us see, what is your dream? What is the current dream of your life? This new moon is asking us to up-level our story, our narrative, change our perspective if that's needed to feel confident and worthy of what it is that we desire. It won't be hard. We're getting really positive aspects. And many of us, I think, are going to get some aha moment or epiphany from this new moon that ushers us into the new era of Neptune and Aries, which is trining your energy, by the way, Leo. Okay, now I'm going to pull a card for you. Leo, your card is fall deep into the realm of your imagination. This is a card about manifesting. This says get lost in your imagination. You know what I get from this card is a sense of dreaming big. And when you go into your imagination, you might be really surprised by what your soul wants to create, manifest. You might be really surprised. You may not be dreaming big enough for what your soul really wants, or your soul may have a message for you that you're going to receive in your imagination. It is time to let go, at least momentarily, at least for maybe 15 or 20 minutes in a meditation, to let go of your responsibilities, your commitments, how you think things should be. Getting lost takes us out of our current perceptions, our current mindset. This new moon wants us to change our mindset, to release ourselves. If not everyone needs to change their mindset, but to open up to a broader array of possibilities. Some of you, look at the gorgeousness of this card. Look at this chandelier. All the lights are coming on. When you go into your imagination, and here's your green heart chakra energy, Leo. When you go into your imagination, you may see a lot more, there may be a lot more light than you're seeing right now. A lot more of you. My colleague Robert Holden says, when something in your life is missing, what is missing is you. In other words, your soul essence, more of your soul essence, you meeting more of your soul essence, this light in your imagination, opening you up to ecstasy, some of you, to more of who you are, more of what your soul wants to express, Leo. After all, you came here specifically to fully express your unbridled free expression. That's Leo energy. To let the inspiration of the divine fire you up and for you to express that. Inspire, inspiration, inspire. Inspire is your spirit, in spirit. To let the spirit of who you are express. That, I feel, is a big part of all of our purpose, and especially it's coming up for you right now, Leo, because you're meant to fully express what's in here in your heart. So if anything I shared resonates, I would absolutely love to hear. Let me know in the comments below. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer. I have my moon and rising in Cancer, and those of us who are Cancer risings will experience this new moon in Gemini in our 12th house, Cancer. The 12th house is the house of rest and retreat, spiritual awakening, astral travel, the mystic. I truly believe, based on my experience of channeling this new moon energy last night, already feeling this, and also based on the astrology and the theory of the astrology of this new moon and all the aspects that are going on, this is going to be an awakening new moon for a lot of people, but especially those of us who are experiencing it in our 12th house, because the 12th house is where we often have those awakening experiences. And that can include dreams. That can include, because there's so much Mercury involved, you can experience that through any kind of conversation, or like I did last night, asking a question and receiving, being led to a YouTube video that then really expanded me, really reminded me of a truth that I had forgotten. And I had to have a really good cry. And you get this, Cancer, you get this. I had to really release the part of me that was having a limited perception at the time, to open up to the truth. And then all the lights went on. And that's a 12th house experience. So I believe that a lot of you are going to have an awakening experience like that, a shift in perception, a remembering of who you really are, an opportunity to reprogram something, a thought. It could be as simple as a thought or an inner narrative, a new I am. When I say I am, you fill in the blank, Cancer. How would you describe yourself? It doesn't have to be a title. It doesn't have to be a role. It can be I am capable. I am gifted. I am choosing to allow, you fill in the blank, whatever you desire, to come into my life. Any I am statement. They are the most powerful words in the English language. I am. And believing in yourself as well, which Jupiter during this new moon is helping us with, especially as it is speaking to the galactic center, raising our vibration, all of those conversations between the planets I speak about in part 1 of this video. A new perspective, an awakening, a rebirth for some of you, Gemini. So also, you just may want to have a quiet, restful new moon, because a 12th house new moon is often where we really want to rest and retreat. We want to do guided meditations. We want to do the things that are going to show, just to be internal, to discover a new world within us, to discover a new soul's essence that wants to come online. A new soul's essence is coming online within each and every one of us, which is why I say this new moon is ushering us into this new era of Neptune and Aries. I really feel that. Do you feel that, Cancer? If so, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. So let us pull a card for you now for this beautiful new moon in the 12th house, in which you may shift a belief, you may shift a story, you may awaken to the truth of who you are, and that may allow you to let go of something that has been a burden or a heaviness on you, which would be really beautiful. Cancer. Your card is listen. Your inner child has something to say. Look at this sweet little girl with the angel wings. You are an earth angel, Cancer. Your inner child wants to share something with you. In the meditations that I have on YouTube, the one on soul family may be appropriate for connecting to your inner child. If not, you can download my meditation on my website as well, which will also take you into a connection with your divine source. I also have in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, a meditation specifically to connect with your inner child in a sacred garden. So those are all resources for you. And another thing is just to go inward and visualize and imagine that you're walking into a sacred garden and that your inner child is there, and that you can embrace him or her and tell them all the things that you weren't told as a child that are true about you. And ask your inner child to share with you anything that they want to share with you. That is one way of doing what this card is suggesting. Beautiful, Cancer. If you want to share whether this reading resonates or anything that came up for you in the comments below, I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you for joining me for this Gemini new moon video. I am super excited. I'm sure you can tell, very passionate about this very powerful, potent new moon, which is like a portal in and of itself. Watch part one of the video if you haven't already, where I go into all the reasons why I'm sharing this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up, for liking it, for commenting, for sharing, for subscribing to my channel. Your subscribes do jumpstart the algorithm to put this video out to more people who love astrology, and it truly supports the channel. So thank you so much for that support. If you would like to do an astrology consultation with me, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me. We can do a heart's desire, a life purpose, a relationship harmony reading, a 90-minute astrology reading if you would also like some coaching. There are lots of options for you. It is always my intention to empower you, to share with you the current transits that are going on, as well as your gifts, your talents, your strengths, and whatever I see in your natal astrology chart that would help you on your journey with whatever is most important to you now. And it will be my absolute joy to meet you on Zoom. I would love to give you a free gift. That free gift is a soothing guided meditation that reconnects you to your inspiration, to your unconditionally loving guides, your spiritual source. If you'd like to receive that, go to my website, sign up for my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you will get that free instant download gift right away. Let me know how you are feeling about this new moon. I love hearing from you. Leave me a comment below. And until my next video, my beautiful friend, I am sending you all my love.